back to my channel. You already know what to do. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe and join the family because, you know, yeah, it's Food with Chanell back with another video. Follow me on all my socials, Chanell A. Wallace on TikTok and Food with Chanell on everything else basically. Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, basically today it's a bit of a, not a hard one, but I've got some lamb chops slash lamb cutlets. So the reason why I say that is because lamb chop, as you know, it's got the bone on, you've got the piece of meat there, and it's one piece, right? So I've got two of those, and then I've got two pieces that are like double the size of that. So it's like two lamb chops together, if that makes sense. So they're a little bit thicker. So I took them out of the freezer and I thought, what can I do with this? I'm kind of trying to do that thing where rather than saying this is the recipe I want to create, I use what I have and create a recipe from it, if that makes sense. So I'm looking at the ingredients because they're right there and I'm like, what am I going to do? But I really want some like lamb chops with rice type dish, like something with a little bit of spice, not too much, but yeah, just something a bit different because I love potatoes and I always have potatoes and lamb, so I feel like I want to do lamb with rice instead. So follow along. These are basically the best lamb chops that you're going to eat. So we're going to call that's what the dish is, the best lamb chops that you will eat. That's what we're calling it today. Ingredients list will always be in the description down below. Let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so you've got everything that you're going to need here. In this bowl, I've got one chopped large carrot, then I've got half of an onion, I've got some fresh thyme and fresh rosemary, and then I've got two chopped spring onions there. The lamb I've washed already, as you can see, so this is what I'm talking about. We've got, this is like a lamb cutlet because it's half of one, and then this is a lamb chop, so it's basically two of those. So call it that. All in all, we've got 2, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 lamb chops altogether. So if you can't find exactly what I have, just get 6 lamb chops and you'll be good to go. And the one that you can't see in the back is some honey. So follow along. We don't really know exactly what's going to happen, but one thing we do know is that we're going to have some lamb chops and some rice. And also, top tip, pre-cook some rice. So I've got some rice here that I've already cooked and just let it sit for a while, because you don't want it to be so fresh that when you do what I'm going to show you, you want it to have been like almost like day old rice where it's just sat for a bit. So I've got some pre-cooked rice here as well. So yeah, let's get straight into seasoning this lamb. One thing I've realized is telling you guys exactly how much I'm adding don't make no sense. Go to the ingredients list below and it will be fine. So obviously wash your hands and put on a glove, or you don't necessarily have to, I just do that, and get seasoning straight away. We're going to start with some ground paprika first. You know what, I'm in the groove of saying how much it is. To be honest, it's going to be about a 3/4 teaspoon of ground paprika. Some garlic granules. You can use fresh garlic as well, but this is a little quick recipe. You want about a 3/4 teaspoon of that as well. Then you want to add some Schwartz lamb seasoning preferably. I do use Raja lamb seasoning and this one, but this one is my fave. So you want 1 teaspoon of that. Dunn's River everyday seasoning. If you don't have this, then use all-purpose seasoning. We're going to add a 3/4 teaspoon of that. Some ground pimento or allspice. Add 1/2 teaspoon of that. Ground black pepper. I need about 3/4 teaspoon of that. Some Old Bay seasoning. Gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of that. Maggi Liquid Seasoning. I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of that. And then, yes, and then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce. Okay, and then once you've got that all in there, you just want to marinate this lamb nicely. So, okay, so I can show you the difference between the two lamb chops. So look at this. This could have been cut in half but obviously when I bought it, I didn't mind the way it was, so it was fine. But then we've got this one now, which is like half of that. So if I hold them together, you see what I'm talking about. So that's double, and then that's one. So basically, you can just get 6 lamb chops and you'll be cool for this. Or, of course, if you do get these, then you can use 3 of these thick pieces here, okay? And if anyone does ask, of course, some of you watching aren't based in the UK, but for any of my UK based supporters, I basically get my lamb, well, this lamb I get in Morrison's, the supermarket. The other lamb that I get is from a special butcher's, so, and that's in London. But if I'm ever just needing lamb quickly, I get it from Morrison's. But obviously, you know, all around the world you can get good lamb chops, so just find some good lamb chops and you'll be good to go. Make sure you get into every single part of it, don't miss anything. And the remaining marinade in the bowl, which is like this, don't get rid of that because we will use it. Okay, so once this is all seasoned up, leave this, cover it, minimum 30 minutes, minimum, because you just want it to sit. But you know, you can leave this overnight. If you want it really good for the same day, season it in the morning and then cook it when you're ready to eat, basically, okay? Obviously, you know your girl Chanel, I'm not going to lie to you guys. We're going to cook it now. We're going to cook it now. Every recipe that I do, well, most of them, I will season it and then cook it straight away. So obviously, you guys will know. If I'm tasting it and I'm saying it's good, can you imagine when you've let it marinate for a little bit? So yeah, that's our lamb. I'm actually going to let this sit for 30 minutes just because it's going to be flavours, I can already tell. So what I'm actually going to do, in the space of time that this is marinating, I am going to saute my veggies. So basically just these, and I'm going to leave them because that is for the lamb. So I'm just going to get some of those veggies nice and soft, or just nearly soft, and then we will start on everything else. I'm just going to put a little bit of vegetable oil in there, just a tad. And then, as I said, you basically are going to start off sauteing your carrots because they're going to take the longest, just to get a little bit soft. Not, you know, we're not cooking them until they're fully cooked. We just want to start them off. So I'm going to add them. Oh, an onion got in there. Saute the carrots a little bit just so they start off the cooking process, because a little inside scoop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make seasoned rice basically. So rather than it being like stewed lamb with a gravy and whatnot, we're going to use those lamb juices to season the rice and then have some nice juicy sticky lamb chops on top. That already sounds delicious, I can't lie. Okay, now once you've fried them for a couple minutes, now you are going to add this onion. Well, not the spring onion. Leave that to the side. And then just pour in your other onion. Saute that a little bit as well, and again, not until they're fully cooked, just until, you know, they're like halfway there. We just want them to be like half cooked along with the carrots. Don't keep that heat up too high. Put the heat on about a medium-high heat and just keep stirring everything so that it doesn't burn, okay? And then once it looks like this, so like half cooked, just again put it to the side because you will need them later once we make our rice to go along with everything. Same pan, Make sure that pan is hot. Oil again, so that we can brown off our lamb chops. I'd say start it off high and then put it to medium high, because you don't want that oil to burn. And then as soon as your oil is hot, you get the oil all around that pan. Once it's nice and hot, you're going to put that lamb in like so. That's one of our big pieces. That's the second big piece. And now I've turned it down to about a medium-high heat. So if I show you guys exactly how it's looking. And basically you just want to brown it off on all sides. You're not fully cooking it, okay? And what we've also got here in this bowl is the remaining marinade. Don't get rid of that, because we're going to use it for the rice. So for now, we are just browning off our lamb. Make sure when you're frying your lamb chops, don't touch them too much. Allow the heat to do what it needs to do, which is give it a nice sear and let that fat render down. As you can see right there, right along there, that's where that fat is rendering down, cooking and releasing that fat into pan. So that's all that flavour that we need. And then you see, that's what you want. You want that lamb fat to render down so that you can then give it a flip onto the other side. And then again, brown it off on the other side. And then what you also want to do where the fat is as well, you just want to press that down onto your pan so that can get browned off as well. And this part should literally, as in frying off your lamb chop, should take you about 5 to 8 minutes, just until all the sides are brown. So that's what you want your fat to look like on the lamb. Yeah. And then what we are going to do now, just whilst we build up our sauce, is remove the lamb from the pan. And then in the pan with all those juices, the lamb fat, all of that, you're just going to turn the heat up slightly. We're going to add in that marinade that I was talking about, so that we can cook that down a little bit. And then we're going to add all of those vegetables, including the fresh thyme, the spring onion, everything in the bowl. Mix that up, get everything coated in that marinade. Get it working up like that. And then you just want to add enough water to cover the base of your pan, just to take up all those juices, the marinade, all of that. Turn up the heat and get it going. Okay, and once it's beginning to look like this, or actually, you know what, I'm going to add a bit more water just to cover the veggies. So just make sure that all the veggies are covered. And once your mix is boiling up, you are going to add back in your lamb, but just rest it on top of those vegetables. Like so. Your lamb and everything should look like this. And basically we're going to almost like not even slow cook it, it's like a way of making these lamb chops nice and tender. Whilst that heat is on medium high heat, just let this stock begin to do what it needs to do, and take some of that juice, you see that there, and just pour it over the lamb, over all the pieces. So look, we've got our little piece there. I'm just going to pour that over. Doesn't really matter if the pieces of onion get on there. Pour that on, pour it over every piece that you've got. Keep the carrots in the water though, so that they can cook through nicely. And what we're going to do is cook this in the pan for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then after 10 to 15 minutes, then we're going to get this really going. So basically, you need to cook this until all the water has gone. And throughout this cooking, just continuously pour those juices over it. Turn it down now between medium and low, and then just leave it alone. Don't turn them over, by the way. Let them stay on the side that you put them in, and just keep them like that. So we're just letting all those flavors get into the lamb. Yum. So we're at about 5 minutes in, and as you can see, those veggies are getting nice and soft. That's what we want. But the main thing, once these carrots are cooked, you know you're onto something. So don't think yet, oh, I need to move on to the next step. Just keep on letting that sit, letting those cook down. And if you have a lid for your frying pan, you can put that on top. I don't have a lid for this, so I actually think I'm going to cover it with foil, which is going to again just help the lamb release those juices and for it to finish cooking. And just rest it on top like so. Doesn't really matter if the edges are out, and then you're good to go. Whilst my lamb is finishing, I'm just going to get my rice into a bowl ready. So a top tip, when you've cooked your rice, basically just let it sit, don't trouble it, don't do nothing to it. So as you can see, my rice is still hot, but I cooked it maybe like an hour ago, so it's just been sitting here. So now the rice is perfect for what I want to do. If you don't know how to cook rice, I'll do a video. But if you do check my stew chicken and rice video, or I think also in my curry goat and rice video, I've definitely done it on my channel before. But yeah, even like the bottom of this pot is totally clear. So trust the process. You guys know my rice method of cooking comes out good every time. Okay, so it's been about 10 to 12 minutes now. Yes, yes, and yes. This is what we are looking for. Nice juicy lamb. Those carrots are getting there, still not 100% soft. Look, if you can't press into it fully, oh look, see, it's almost there. Almost there. But what we don't want to do is add more water to this. Those carrots will cook just fine. If there's still any juices, just again pour onto the lamb. Here is the key part, was the missing ingredient. You're going to get some honey, and we're just going to drizzle this all over the lamb like this. So like 2 drizzles. That's the only way that I can say it. Drizzle it like that, leave it be, leave it uncovered now, again for maybe like 5 minutes. And then what we're going to do after 5 minutes is turn over the lamb. Okay, I'm actually going to add a little bit of honey to the veggies as well. You're going to understand why shortly. So whilst this is just caramelizing, let me get you guys in nice and close so you can see that lamb. Looks like all those veggies here are just going to caramelize and get nice and soft, especially those carrots. Look at that lamb. Juicy, delicious, and we're still not even done yet. We're still not done yet. Okay, and then after about 5 minutes of it having that honey on, you just want to flip the lamb chops over like so within that sauce. As you can see, it's starting to reduce right down now, but there's even a caramelized carrot on top of that. And then you just want to leave it on the other side as well for again another like 4 to 5 minutes, just so that the other side can get sticky as well. And then we're going to remove the lamb chops from the pan. What we're going to do is remove the lamb from the pan. As you can see, look at that lamb, nice and glazed, juicy and delicious. And then turn that right down. And what we're going to do is add our rice straight into this. Straight in, all of that rice. This was about 1.5 cups of rice. Look, and you can see, if I show you this pan, nice and clear at the bottom. So if you have any trouble cooking rice, just go on my channel, follow my method, and you're good to go. So keep it on a low heat, just mash the rice so that it goes into its grains. And then once you have done that, just begin to gently mix in the rice with all those juices and the soft vegetables, and there you have your seasoned rice. And the rice is already cooked and so are the vegetables, so you just want to keep it on low so that that rice just heats through nicely. Oh, it smells delicious. If you like lamb, this is one to try. And I've never done this. I've literally just created this recipe like this now. I've made lamb chops like that before, but I've never done this with the rice. So I'm really excited to try the seasoned lamb rice along with the lamb chops. Make sure you mix it all in. Everything up together, just so that all that rice gets coated evenly. You don't want some parts to not have it and some parts to have it. If you at any point see where your fresh thyme and rosemary was, just pick that out, put it to the side so that it's easier than removing it when you're eating. Delicious, 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 delicious. I haven't even tasted it yet. And then once it's all mixed up, just kind of flatten it out evenly in the pan. Remove any of those stems from the rosemary and thyme. Just get it all nice and flat in your pan like this. Once you've flattened it out, we're going to add those lamb chops back into the pan, just to sit nicely on top of that rice. Release all those juices, and then even if there's any juices left on that pan, just pour it on top. And then there we have it, as you can see, sitting nicely on top of that rice there. I'm going to turn it off. And here we have it, guys. The best lamb chops you ever try, along with that seasoned rice with the lamb juices. We definitely need to give this a try. Now, I would say that this meal would serve 2, but with leftovers. So I mean, if you want to serve more, just double the ingredients. If you're trying to serve a family of 4, yeah. I've not tasted any parts of this yet, so you guys are about to see the taste test firsthand here. Let's give this a taste. Let's plate up some of this delicious rice first of all. So I'm going to get you guys in close. Make sure you get some of those veggies that we put in there as well. Get your lamb chops on top. I'm going to have one of each, like so. And there we have it, guys. Got our sticky, juicy lamb chops right there on that bed of seasoned rice with carrots, onions, rosemary, thyme, just flavors. Let's give this a taste, people. Let me even just put down the fork so you can admire this gorgeous plate of food. I can't lie, I love lamb, you know. Whoo, child, Lord knows that I love me some lamb. Now tell me that doesn't look like a whole, nah. No. Even get closer. Oh my gosh, like, and then the rice, it's sitting on that rice and the rice is just taking in all that flavor. I think I'm gonna go in with the rice first because I know you guys want me to actually try the lamb, but you gotta wait. If you guys see the rice here, you take that and then, I'm sorry, but I've got to go right in. That lamb flavour has gone all into the rice. Like, I'm in love with the rice. I'm absolutely adoring the rice. It doesn't need gravy. It doesn't need anything. Just put the rice in your mouth and you'll be good. Look at that. That lamb is cooked perfectly. Perfectly cooked lamb. I'm glad that I just went with my gut, used what I had at home, tried to experiment, because it's giving like Mediterranean, Turkish type vibes, but with, obviously Mediterranean and Turkish food has flavors, but obviously I had to put a little Caribbean twist to it, do you know what I'm saying? So if you like lamb chops and you don't want to have like gravy or whatever, this is it. The flavours enhance with every bite. It's like 1 enhancement, 2 enhancement, 3 enhancement. A plate full of enhancement of flavours is what you need. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Obviously, if you liked it, then give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't, then, I mean, I don't really know why, but anyways, make sure to subscribe, drop a comment down below if you tried this recipe and let me know what you thought. Follow me on all my socials, Chanell A. Wallace on TikTok, on Food with Chanell on Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest and Facebook. Whew. See you in the next video. When the food makes you sing and dance, you know the food is good. Wow.